up, guys? Happy Saturday. The weekend is upon us. The end of the month upon us. Hope you had a good Friday night. Oh, baseball. Last night was fun. Like I said, no Coors, no Sutter Health, no Great American. It was cool. It was fun. I had a decent night. I think our top lineup finished 5th. Would have been nice for Alejandro Kirk, I think, to, get that homer or whatever. But I was like 3 times the field, if not more, on Framber Valdez. And that was cool. And then I think that top lineup was like a Blue Jays something or other. So, yeah. What up, Pojan? What up, Chester? What up, Mike? Yeah. Hope we're all doing all right. You like Crow, 2 bases, plus 180. Friedel, plus 140. Ellie, plus 155. Suzuki's. Osei Suzuki, plus 120. Sure. Okay, all right. All right, look who's got the picks. All right, hey, so there's a lot of games today. And there's a big slate that's about to kick off in like an hour, right? Not an hour. Maybe not. That was a lie. I don't know why I said an hour. But like less than 2 hours, right? So 3:05 my time. So 2 hours, essentially. Hour 46 minutes, 19 seconds. Who's counting? So I need to grind that because I reserved lineups. And I need to make those lineups. So let's do that. There's a 2-game slate starting like now. In 2 minutes. We're just not. We're just gonna skip it. I hope you guys can forgive me. Real quick, Cubs against Lodolo. The wind blowing in, it's a little chilly. I'm not expecting a lot of offense from this game. There's an opener, then Ben Brown. And then the Athletics and Blue Jays. I'd be right back on the Blue Jays. Athletics pitching has been pretty rough. The bottom of this Blue Jays lineup's getting a little bit of who's that, but man, Athletics pitching and the Athletics bullpen specifically are just cores on the road. So keep attacking it. I'm sure on a 2-game slate that's gonna have just crazy ownership. Ernie Clement is still free and keeps dropping 20 to 30. So I'm sure he's gonna grab ownership on that slate. Is what it is. All right, that is our analysis on 2 games that are start now. So let's move on. What a fistula poop? What the freak does that mean? Now let's do some work on the main slate. So this is a slate I forgot I reserved 150 lineups for. So we will see how fast we can get through it. And then maybe we'll crush those lines while vibing. Game number 1, the White Sox and the Orioles. Davis Martin towing the slab against Dean Creamer. 3.8 run total now for the White Sox. Orioles sitting on a 4.9, so the game total dropped half a run. Mid-60s wins left to right. Martin on the season, a 14.6% K rate, $1.25 on the whip, 5.27 expected ERA, and a 4.48 Sierra are worse than his 3.45 actual ERA. Stop me if you heard this before, but the Orioles have a good matchup. To the Orioles' discredit, I guess they're dealing with some injuries still. And this time, I believe it's Mountcastle and is it Cedric Mullins, I think, that are down now. So the more things change, the more they stay the same. Gunnar Henderson, Ryan O'Hearn, Jackson Holliday, the names I like the most from a day-to-day standpoint. Picking on Davis Martin's weaknesses does allow a high average to righties and decent shot at power to both sides of the plate. Heavy ground ball guy to lefties, 45% is respectable to righties. You get it. On the other side, Dean Creamer, 16.6% K rate so far this season. Sometimes we'll just pitch guys against the White Sox and it works out. I I don't like to play bad pitchers, so I probably won't. Over 4.25 expected ERA, 4.44 Sierra. Just not a real swing and miss guy. That's actually by design, but it's really been getting torched by lefties this season. A lot of power allowed. Is there a lefty on the White Sox you'd click with some confidence? Not really. Benintendi's moved his ISO to 175 since the beginning of last year against righties. That's enough to chip in a chair. Mike Tauchman, the Sockman, he can get you a random punch here and there. But this is a tough team to really target for power. So if we sprinkle some cherry picks in the portfolio, sure. Not really going to get to really any corner of this game with a lot of confidence. But if you're not going to get behind the good pitching, there's a reason why. So maybe we should be a little bit more interested in the bats. But I lean more so the Orioles side, per usual. Waiting on the confirmed lineup for the Orioles. But like I said, I could click 3 names with somewhat confidence. Holiday, Gunnar Henderson, Ryan O'Hearn. You give me Adley, I'm not gonna fault anything. If Jorge Mateo cracks the lineup, he gets on base, still a bag, something like that. So I definitely get to 3 Orioles pretty quickly. So we're gonna go Orioles, maybe Substack, and White Sox are just the White Sox. What up, Joe Ross? Hope we're doing all right. Death taxes, O's in a good match. It's tough. Next spot, Brewers and the Phillies. So, Brewers lineup is out. I don't have it confirmed yet. Churio Contreras, get a 2-hole catcher. That's cool. Christian Yelich saving his season. Anybody? It's not been bad. Last 7 games. After a pretty putrid stretch. Green light. 3.5, 4.7. Let's see if I can open up. This is it right here. I don't know if you guys have been keeping an eye on Mr. Yelich here. 2 homers yesterday, 1 homer 2 games ago, 2 homers on the 22nd. Hits him in bunches, right? Yeah, 2 homers, 2 strikeouts in the same game yesterday. But Citizens Bank Park, certainly a park that plays favorable to power. Jesus Luzardo, not really a pitcher that plays favorable to lefty power. Hasn't allowed a homer so far this season to lefties. Last season, though, 159 on the home run per 9. Year prior, 0.66. So maybe something's in there. But right now, Luzardo's putting together a pretty good campaign. 2.96 on the expected ERA, 28% K rate, 13.5% swing and strike rate, and just a 5% barrel rate. So instant interest in him. I do want to mention that I was looking at Mr. Roth's weather report. He did mention a little bit of rain concern here. He writes 2 separate groupings of showers and storms in the area during game time. I think a delay of some sort is fairly likely, but I do think they currently are able to play ball today. So we are going to have pre-flop interest in Luzardo, but it's not without risk. We'll put Luzardo in the ranking. We'll get ourselves a little bit, and then we will link his credit. Roth indicates some rain risk, but expects to play. Roth report. I call it the Roth report. I don't know what it's actually called, but I feel like Roth report sounds pretty cool. And then inversely, Chad Patrick, a 21% K rate for him, a high contact profile, $1.25 on the whip, decent average allowed to lefties. Hasn't allowed a homer to lefty, but man, does this seem like it's only a matter of time, right? Maybe the barrel rate being under 6% is a great indication of him able to miss that big swing, but typically a 34% line drive rate, a 34% hard contact rate, and a 45% fly ball rate will not mean 0 homers for long. So Phillies are in a good spot, I think, to maybe tack on his first homer to the lefty. They are without Bryce Harper for a bit, but that, they still got Kyle Schwarber, Max Kepler, chip in the chair, middle of the lineup. Certainly a weaker version of the Phillies lineup, but I could still get there. And behind Chad Patrick is a pretty putrid Brewers bullpen. And speaking of bullpen, the Phillies bullpen has not been that good themselves. So if rain does make this game funky, maybe the Brewers get into some surprise runs if we do get Luzardo out of there earlier than maybe people would intend, What up, Power? Churio prop bet day. You like Churios? Against Luzardo. 280 average against lefties since the beginning of last season. Luzardo this season, a 262 average allowed. Leading off, good park. I get it. I don't not get it. By the way, I probably should tighten pitcher projections that I did before I went to bed, right? We'll look at Davis Martin, Green. All right, so look, basically all I need to do is check the outs. Gunnar Hall, 6 minute. Okay, that one's. So I guess to top on the weather risk, I don't see outs for Luzardo and Chad Patrick, so that's also probably an indication that Vegas didn't want to mess with outs because there could be weather. What up, Justin Sports? But Davis, Martin, Dean Creamer, what do we got? We didn't even got them listed. Oh, there they are. 17.5, 15.5, and I think that's what I got. No, I don't. I had that backwards. Wait, do I have that backwards? I do have that backwards. Okay. Well, not really. That was my early guesses. So we'll switch that a little bit. And then Luzardo and Patrick. So I think I have for 17.5 outs with 14.5 for Patrick. I'm not going to change Patrick, but we certainly do want to check the timeline of the potential weather, I think, for Luzardo. But I don't like to play weatherman, so I would just keep recommending we keep up with Ross' report here. But that seems to be the only weather spot. But it is not important, right? I guess luckily for us, we do get like Kota Senga against the Rockies and Schoolboy. Like we have some alternatives that we don't have to jam Luzardo, but you'd want some Luzardo for almost a 30% K rate. You know what I mean? I don't know. Brewers stacks, anybody? Right now I'm chilling, but the ballpark and the bullpen could open things up. So let's Brewers. We'll chill. But I think there's a case. So let's move on. All right, Cardinals and the Ranges. Do we have some roof info? Oh, we do. The roof will be open for today's game against the Cardinals. It was open yesterday as well. And in Texas, it's hot and humid, daddy. I don't know why I said daddy. That's weird. 4.7 run total for the Cardinals, 4 for the Rangers. And in Texas, the temps are up. So that's good for baseballs. And that is something that we should notate, right? The roof is open. And let's call it mid 80s, and it'll be during the sunshine. So a little bit of a weather boost here. I'm gonna go 0.3. Yeah, let's go 0.5. 0.3 is a weird number. Sonny Gray taking on Patrick Corbin. Sonny Gray this season, 26% K rate, 11% swing and strike rate, 4.15 expected ERA. Against righties, we really see some holes. 277 average allowed, just a 20% K rate, and a 1.8 home run per 9. His ground ball rate is really diminished. Has lost almost 15% last year to this year against righties. Luckily for him, in a weird way, he's facing a lot of lefties. A little bit of reverse splits. When it comes to that, an extra 11% strikeout rate to lefties, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 righties today with decent enough K rates, and one of them's Higgy, he's a platoon specialist, and he really hits lefties for great average. Marcus Semien is, I don't think I'm believing it, but it should be mentioned. Had a huge day yesterday, 4 hits, 3 runs, and a bomb in the bottom of that lineup. I think their matchup yesterday against Liberatore is certainly a more hittable one than Sonny Gray today. But you're probably getting the best version of the Rangers lineup that you've seen all year. But man, Sonny Gray is so gosh dang good. Patrick Corbin, inversely, $1.25 plus on the whip, 4.44 expected ERA, sub 20% K rate. I like grabbing the Cardinals outside of Busch in a good spot, good environmental spot, good park spot, and a good pitching matchup. And that's kind of all the check boxes we got today. So bottom of this lineup gets a little bit rough in terms of power and WRC plus. But 1 through 5, and you could even sneak in Arenado, I guess. I could get behind, and if they get through Corbin, I don't mind, Burleson lurking in the shadows for maybe some action off the bullpen. I like the Cardinals to maybe take advantage of all of the environmental factors and the matchup to maybe get some runs on the board here. But Mason Wynn, Wilson Contreras, Ivan Herrera, all 3 guys that I would be heavily interested in Corbin's power splits allowed. So let's go a ranking here. Let's go Sonny Gray. Let's go Cardinals. That's kind of where I'm at, but I think you can get to a Ranger sub stack. It's kind of weird, right? We want to target Gray with hit for average power righties, but you really don't want to get past Corey Seager and Wyatt Langford with much confidence. I guess Langford would be the guy that fits that mold. Let me grab 4 Rangers: Seager, Langford. Yeah, that's it. I like the rest of this team against lefties, right? Haggerty, Higashioka. I guess Berger's got a 200 ISO against righties. Maybe you slip him in there, but I'm way more on the Gray side of things. So that's how I'm going to stretch that out. Sonny Gray, then Cardinals. Let's go pitcher projections. Let's sweep the outs I got there. 17.5, 15.5. The board right now says 17.5. Basically 18, and then 16.5 for Corbin. So I'll give Corbin an out. I'll give Sonny Gray. I already had him for some QS implications. Cool. Save the daddy references for your customer. Hey man, at one time it was cool to say daddy. Dusty Rose daddy. All right. Let's move on. Actually, we did get a lineup for whoever we didn't have a lineup for. The Orioles. Jackson Holiday, Adley Rushman, Gunnar Henderson, Rhino Hearn, Ramon Urias, Kobe Mayo, Justin Kerstad, Dylan Carlson, Jorge Mateo. About as projected. Dude, I've had some itchy eyes in the last day, dude. In combination of pet dander and allergies. And then yesterday, I guess one of my neighbors were smoking meat, and it just like swamped in my house. Like it would smell like smoke all night. So I'm getting smoked out. All right, Rays and Astros. We got a Rays lineup. Jose Caballero drew I guess a random leadoff, and it worked yesterday. Hit a bomb ski. Even though they sent down Chandler Simpson, they still or because they sent down Chandler Simpson, I don't know what the thought process is. What a weird move. Like, I get it. Like, some people are like, oh, he's bad at defense, his WRC plus, blah blah blah. Like, the whole team's WRC plus sucks. Why pick on the one guy that's manufacturing runs? Like, what? It's totally a business move, and I get it. But I hate when teams do stuff like that, and either they or people try to, like, justify it like it wasn't strictly a business move. It was a time manipulation move, bro. Come on. Who we kidding? Literally the day that he basically stole a run. What are you gonna do? Zach Littell taking out Colton Gordon. It's our pitching matchup. 4.1 run total for the Rays. 4.6 for Colton Gordon. I wonder if the roof's open in Minute Maid. I keep calling it Minute Maid. I think it's not Minute Maid anymore. Daikin Park, is that what it is? I'm not finding anything. I never find anything on that roof, but either way, Minute Maid doesn't necessarily need the roof open to play better. Zach Littell, 16% K rate on the season. He's throwing strikes, so that's good. High hard contact rate, high barrel rate, and allowing power to both sides of the plate. When it comes to the Astros, we hyper focus on righty splits because they are essentially all righty outside of Victor Caratini in the absence of Yordan Alvarez. 417 xFIP, 16% K rate, 241 average allowed, 186 home run per nine. So Christian Walker, somebody I would tap into. Isaac Paredes, we've seen some power from. Jose Altuve showed some power the other day. I think that was I want to say that was against the lefty though. There are some names I would click here. Not a lot of confidence, but I'm like not pitching Littell, and this is not a high strikeout spot anyway. Although maybe more strikeouts today than typical. Christian Walker 1-4, Cam Smith 27%, and Zach DeZenzo 30%. But generally, though, 5 of the first 6 batters a sub 18% aggregate K rate since the beginning of last year against righties. So not really going to get to Littell with any bit of confidence, and there's hardly any upside, especially I would say maybe 9K on Fanduel feels a little bit crazy. Sure, maybe he goes deeper, gets you that quality start, but I think that's not the slate for 9K Littell. Colton Gordon on the other side, 14.2 innings of work for him this season, 21.2% K rate. A 3 expected ERA, looks better than his 5.52 actual ERA, and so does his 3.62 Sierra. It seems like we don't have enough innings for him yet to make a straight decision, but back-to-back 5-inning games, sitting right around 84 pitches. Yesterday, Framber threw a Maddox, right? Complete game, so that's a big reset button for the bullpen. And were they off on Thursday? Maybe they weren't. Bullpen. Houston. They weren't, but man, they needed that reset button because they went to that bullpen quite a bit on Thursday. So that was huge for them. So a guy that's only been around 85 pitches in 3 straight starts, having a reset bullpen behind him, that's good for the skipper, Colton Gordon. But let's see if he's playing to his minor league baseball card so far. 42.1 innings, 43 strikeouts, so about a strikeout per inning, 1.2 whip. Nothing stellar in those numbers, but not bad. A strikeout per inning is good. Looks like he struggled much more against righties. 300 average allowed against righties. this season, 7 walks and 5 bombs in 39 innings with a 1.41 whip. And Kevin Cash is throwing out a lot of righties, just 2 lefties, right? Caballero, Yandy Diaz, Caminero. It gets really ugly down here, but I don't mind. I don't mind it, but I don't like that maybe the Astros cut the game in half with a solid bullpen. So that makes me a little bit more sub-stacky, unless they just explode. I think that's how I run this both sides. Rays sub-stack, Astros sub-stack. Like, we're not fully enamored. So what we got on outs? I had 17.5, Colton 16. The lines are now at nothing. Oh, there we are. 17.5 and 15.5 with juice on the under. So I'm thinking we switch Gordon up 15 until 17.5. I guess that's fair. That's fair. We'll take it. What up, Ayo? Altuve's playing. No idea why DK is Dubon listed as batting third. Yeah, I don't know what that's about. Gordon's bat was like 400 for super. Yeah, it's only at like 14 innings. But in the minors, though, he did allow a high average to righties. But yeah, the Rays don't strike a lot of confidence. Again, neither team does. The Astros are at least like treading a little bit above average as a whole, but it's not sexy. Rays only have like 2 guys since the beginning of last year with like worth mentioning WRC pluses against lefties. So both sides of this game is lukewarm. I'm just going sub stacks, chipping a chair on a couple bets. I'm not really gonna flood out 5+ at a high low confidence. Next game, Red Sox and Braves. We got Walker Buehler taking on Spencer Schwellenbach. Red Sox have a 3.7 run total. Braves 5. Buehler a 21% K rate on the season, 3.93 on the expected ERA, 9.3% barrel rate. On the other side, 21.7% K rate for Schwellenbach, 105 on the whip, 3.8 expected ERA. He's been so good against righties. Overall, 27% K rate, 2.23 on the xFIP, 53% ground ball rate. A lot of redeeming qualities here that you would take against a lineup that features a lot of righties. But the Red Sox actually throw in some good lefties. Jaron Duran, Rafi Devers, the youngster Marcelo Meyer, and then Abraham Toro had himself a little bit of a day yesterday. But I always say, give me past Duran and Devers and let's talk. And that's kind of what Schwellenbach has to do. A 2+ home run per 9 to lefties so far this season. Over a 1 last season. Devers is in an elite spot. Maybe the lack of Alex Bregman to protect him makes him a little less likely to get attacked. But Will Abreu is respectable enough, and the 1 through 4 WRC pluses are really, really good. So there's that. Walker Buehler on the other side has been much more contact than not, has had some flashes of brilliance this season, has shown a little bit of attitude, a little bit of spunk. That game he got ejected against, was it the Mets? 2.1 innings. He had 4 strikeouts before he got the old heave-ho, but really, overall, has just not been the Walker Buehler of yesteryear. So I don't get to him with much confidence. Matter of fact, I explore picking on him. Now, he has been able to stifle righties, not maybe as good as Schwellenbach, but a 24% K rate this season against righties, 167 average allowed. That probably feels a little bit lucky but the 3.25 xFIP says it's not like crazy, right? 45% ground ball rate and a pretty decent hard contact rate. He's keeping the overall hard contact rate down, but still over a 9% barrel rate. Where you want to really beat him is with good swinging lefties, and then he can give up power to both sides of the plate with his contact profile. So the Braves have a 5 run total right now. They look pretty good. We look at the bullpen usage yesterday for Boston. and they went to a lot. Chappie closed. Chappie can pitch in consecutive days. This does mean he's pitched in 3 of the last 4 days, so maybe that matters as well. So maybe you don't see Chappie. It would open up Slayton. Whitlock threw 33 pitches yesterday. Not likely to see him today. And then everybody else probably could go again today. Bernardino, Justin Wilson, Greg Weissert. So it should be quality matchup. So I'm gonna go Braves at the top. Schwellenbach. No Bueller for me. And I'll say Red Sox Substack, which is basically 1 through. I'll go 1 through 5. We'll leave the kid in there. I think I joked about Trevor Story yesterday, and I think he homered. But that's his homer of the month, right? No, he has 7 this season. Yeah, he homered yesterday. Good for him. But he also struck out 3 times. So that's the Trevor Story way. Give me Braves, Strahlenbach, Red Sox. Let's go check out in our projections. 18 and 15.5 is what we should be featuring. So let's go Schwellenbach 18, Bueller 15.5. All right. What's up, J. Cole? I have Brewer listed as a righty. Oh, Abreu. Oh, my bad. I'm typing too fast. It won't affect the back end, but it does mess with my eyes. That's a good catch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 lefties. So maybe it comes down in this K rate a little bit. Let's see. 5 lefties, 26. I got a 22 overall. No, I think that's about fair. I put 21.7. We'll live with it. Let's get them likes up. Yeah, that'd be lit. 60 people on a Saturday? I think I do get more views on the weekend. And I almost didn't stream today, but I woke up and Jake had the spreadsheet kind of updated. I was like, oh, I guess I don't have to. I'm in. In the weird daytime, afternoon start time, knowing I had to make my own lineups, I was a little bit unsure. But I appreciate you guys hanging out. Giants and the Marlins next up. We got a 4.2 run total for the Giants. Marlins 3.5. We got Robbie Ray taking on Edward Cabrera. We'll see if the roof in Lone Depot is open. Looks like it's not. Lone Depot Park roof status closed via this random website, so that's good. Edward Cabrera, 1.4 on the whip, 3.8 expected ERA, allows power to both sides of the plate. Not as much so far this season, but the supporting metrics are pretty similar to the last 2 seasons. So if that starts spiking soon, I wouldn't be surprised. 1.71 home run per 9 to righties, 263 average allowed. Ground ball rates kind of trolly, right? At times that could play like a problem. Double-digit walk percentage to lefties. A lot of righties, right? We got 3 lefties pretty spread out. Young-Ho Lee, Mike Yastrzemski, and Lamont Wade. So we can lean on this righty split a little bit, which is the worst side, the 4+ xFIP, the 1 in 5 K rate, and the power. Elliot Ramos, bomb. Wilmer Flores, the memory of the spreadsheet going to the beginning of last year. You know, I don't want to say doing him justice, but we've seen Wilmer kind of power surge in the last month, and Chappie got him one. I love Matt Chapman against guys that are not going to strike him out, right? You can neutralize that 1 in 4 K rate and tap into that 200 ISO a little bit more consistently. I think Chapman got a homer yesterday, if I'm not mistaken. He did. So, like to see that. We've also seen multiple hits in 2 games straight. So I think I'm in on some Giants here. And then Robbie Ray against this Marlins team. This is a putrid offense against lefties. We've got Dane Myers, and I'm sure this is inflated by short sample, with a 142 WRC plus. Everybody else neutral or negative. This Hernandez kid was called up yesterday, and I believe we looked him up, and he had an incredible strikeout or home run thing going on, right? 773 OPS, 9 homers, and then I think we ran some splits. Let's look at the splits against lefties. Ten strikeouts and 23 at bats, so almost a 50% K rate there. 48 strikeouts and 119 at bats. So 7 homers and 119 at bats, 2 homers in those 23 at bats. The walks, I guess there's a walk. I guess you could draw some walks. So maybe he's one of those 3 true outcomes types. Strikeout, homer, walk. Not really hitting for average. And that's kind of the Robbie Ray baseball, right? Strikeout, homer, walk. He has been walking righties and lefties over 10% of the time. But there is only one Marlin player in this lineup right now that's holding a double-digit walk rate, and that's your leadoff guy, Agustin Ramirez, and his strikeout, homer, walk, 3 true outcomes as well. But I think generally speaking, the low walk rate, the low WRC pluses, generally low averages, this should be an elite spot for Robbie Ray. And I actually will list Robbie Ray over the Giants in my single game interest ranking here. To play Robbie Ray, you're gonna have to go out there and pay up for him. 10.6K on Fanduel, 9K on DraftKings. But all things are pointing to a good game from him, right? A lot of check boxes going his way. 6+ innings in since April. So he's out there making the most and not really having to go deep into his bag either. 90, 94, 98, 86 pitches. A little bit of a strength of schedule maybe on his side, but also not, right? Nats, Royals, D-backs, these are not high K teams. D-backs is a very talented team. Yeah, that's, the benefit of Oracle, but Miami with the lid shut against that offense shouldn't be that much of a difference here. So I'm in on Robbie Ray. I'm in on the Giants. And that's all I got to say about that. 17 and a half outs, 15 and a half. Is that about what I got? I have 18. I put 18 on Robbie Ray. I think I'm happy with the 18, and I'll stick with 15 and a half there. Yeah, we're cool with that. What up, Mike? Dodgers Hank's gonna get a segment. Yeah, we'll look at the main slate too. I think I'm making good time. I have to spit out some lineups for this afternoon slate for my own playing, but yeah, I won't leave here without looking at the main slate or the night slate. What up, Patrick? Appreciate that. Buddy said the same thing you tweeted. He was at the house watching for me and said my error lost power 3 times. Yeah, dude, the storms were kind of crazy last week, bro. Edward Simple either goes off or buries you. The righties are causing Edward. Yeah, I'm back on it. Carlson plus 870, 2 bases, plus 190. Dude, Pojin is just like rooting for doubles today. I like it. Let me get these sleeves up. Got a permit for those guns. Next game on this afternoon slate, Tigers and the Royals. We got Tariq Skubal against Michael Wacha. 4.7 run total for the Tigers. Gone up a little bit from what I had before I went to bed. 3.5 for the Royals. So I guess the game grabbed half a run. We got a confirmed lineup for both teams here. Michael Wacha, 17% K rate, buck and a quarter on the whip, 3.8 expected ERA. Just a fine middle of the rotation real life pitcher in Kauffman Stadium. You know what I mean? A fireman, not gonna get blown up more of a contact guy than, you want for fantasy, but 17% K rate to lefties, 287 average allowed, and 1 on the home run per 9. But like I said, generally just pretty average at everything and maybe average plus. So hard to stack against him and expect a whole lot, especially in this ballpark. But I will say, we talked about the weather in Arlington, Texas, being hot. It's in the 80s out there in KC as well, and there is some wind going to right field. So Scooble's not really a guy I'm running to pick on himself, but could we get a boost from our lefty pull hitters against Michael Walker, knowing that? Possibly, and that's already his weaker side. So Kerry Carpenter, Cole Keith, Riley Green could be kind of sneaky to tap into the situation. Did Roth mention anything about the weather in KC? Storm should hold off well after the game. So he only mentioned storms, and maybe it's an oversight, but what I'm looking at is 84 degrees, wind out the right. Can't hurt your lefty pull hitters to maybe get this 72, this 28% below average and home run to lefties ballpark stat to look a little bit more neutral, right? And then Tariq Skubal, inversely, 35% K rate for him. Now, the Royals have not been a team that strikes out. They only strike out 17.73% of the time aggregate since the beginning of last year. But sometimes you get pitchers that are just S tier, right? There's your normal 20-25% K rate pitchers that are great, and then you get your aces, right? Your Cy Young candidates when they're at their peak. You play the peak DeGrom, peak Scherzer, peak Kershaw against anybody, and that's kind of the company that Tariq Skubal has put himself in. You almost don't care what the matchup is. He's just on a different level right now, and you put him in one of the more pitcher-friendly parks, you'll take your chances. So I think I will take my chances. Obviously, I'm a little bit more pessimistic about the strikeout output, but I'm here. And how often is he going to implode? Striking out lefties almost 36% of the time. Striking out righties almost 35% of the time. Throwing a lot of strikes. You maybe want to see the batted ball event profile look a little greener when it comes to righties putting the ball in play. 24% line drive rate, 35% ground ball rate. But man, this is just not a hit for power Royals team lately. I think I saw a stat that Jack Caglione out there in the minors has out-homered the major league team in like the last month or something crazy like that. So maybe it won't be long till we start seeing him up, even though he's kind of on the accelerated path where he's probably need a bacon AAA for a little bit more before he's ready. But so how do we rank this out? Let's go Skubal, Tariq Skubal. Then I'm gonna go Tigers. Like, I don't not want the Tigers, but I don't want to make it look like I'm going all in on the Tigers, right? And the Royals, I really don't have interest in, but man, do they hit for scrappiness. That could kind of be a problem. Let's see. What's Skubal's ownership? 23%. I just assume it's Kota Sengai and then like anyone else. And I don't disagree with the Sengai part. Skubal at 11K. There's enough pushback here. Like this isn't the Super Saiyan ceiling spot, but you respect him enough to have him in the blender. Luzardo, Robbie Ray, Schwallenbach, Sonny Gray. There's plenty of pivots here, so I'm gonna go Skubal, Tigers. Not really gonna get to the Royals as a stack. What's up, Dave? Yeah, Crazy. I think their strengths are not necessarily Skubal's weaknesses, but their strengths are lefties, hit for average, be scrappy, make it work. So I could see an average game for Skubal's sake as your output here. Angels and the Guardians next up. We do have confirmed lineups for both teams. The return of Michael Nelson. Part due. Neto, Shanuel, Moncada batting third. Taylor Ward, Jorge Soler, Mike Trout, Travis d'Arnaud, Joe Adele, Luis Rengifo is your confirmed Angels lineup. On the Guardian side, Stephen Kwan, Angel Martinez, J-Ram, Kyle Manzardo, Carlos Santana, Daniel Schneemann, Bo Naylor, Gabriel Arias, and Nolan Jones. Anytime I see Nolan Jones, I think Nathan Jones. You guys remember him? He was like on one WrestleMania. That was great. Hendricks versus Sechoni. Versus Slade. Is that right? 31% carry rate? Is he long? 6 and 5. Detroit and Cincy. We're gonna have to look at that. That might be inflated. All right, well, we know what we're getting with Kyle Hendricks. That's a 15% carry rate, sub 7% swing and strike rate, 4.35 expected ERA, a lot more power to righties than lefties, and just a soft tossing old man in the backyard, right? I think his fastball and his changeup kind of got some grinky stuff going on right now. 87 mile an hour fastball, 73 mile an hour curveball, 80 mile an hour changeup. So soft tosser. Again, not having velo doesn't always mean you're gonna get smoked out of the park, because science. But he's rarely ever going to be a good DFS play, and the Guardians have been kind of anemic past Quan and J-Ram. Hard to click some names with confidence. I think you can get to Manzardo. You can start to neutralize these high K rates, right? We got 28% for Schneemann, 30% for Naylor, 28% Arias, and at least with Schneemann and Naylor, you know, you neutralize almost a 30% aggregate K rate. You can get into a 180 plus aggregate ISO, and maybe have some fun with that. But the power side for Hendricks has been against righties, and there's only one righty in the lineup. If we feature his lefty splits, it's not impressive as far as strikeouts go. It's kind of impressive as far as power allowed goes, right? A 40% ground ball rate, just a 23% hard contact rate, and a 0.7 home run per nine. So kind of trolly, right? And you remember some of these soft tossers of yesteryear, the Jared Weavers, the Kyle Hendricks, the Zach Greinke's. I feel like most of them soft toss and righties had home run power splits to right-handed hitters, but were kind of trolly to lefties. So this could be a frustrating game to stack the Guardians, but I wouldn't not do it, because if they can get through Kyle Hendricks, backing up Hendricks is one of the worst bullpens in baseball, and you might, have some fun with it. Inversely, for Slade, the K rate seems kind of crazy. So I want to at least substantiate what we're seeing as the result, because for the samples we're working with, 70 plus innings last year, he almost doubled his K rate, while keeping the home run per nine, and some of the batted ball stuff isn't that different. So we kind of want to see if we can substantiate why things are changing, or is it a sample size happenstance thing? So first things first, we look at the fastball. It's about the same velocity. Expected batting average is still about the same, 270-ish. Expected slug is about the same on the fastball. The whiff has gone up, so that's good. He's got a 41 and 56% whiff on a slider curveball combo. The slider has a 571 expected slug. Last year was 515. The curveball 439. Last year 330. It looks like he's throwing a curveball a little bit more than last year, at least on pace too. But here's what I'll say: the expected numbers aren't blowing me away. It's better. They're not blowing me away. There's room for regression in the batting average versus expected batting average. About 40 points. 30 points in the curve. So a little bit of overperforming. A little bit. Armengol is aggregate the same the last 3 years. Who was he in the minors? I need Jake. Jake, what's going on with Slade? What's up, Andy? Hope you're doing all right. Under 65 innings pitched, 372 Ks career-wise. Coming from a couple seasons in the PCL, 116 innings, 118 Ks, 47. So he certainly has profiled as a guy that could be close to a strikeout per inning aggregate the last 3 seasons. So I guess what I'm saying is I'm not expecting a 30% K rate, but if he could be K per inning, a 25% K rate, I'm somewhat interested. And we know this Angels team strikes out, right? We have just Samuel and Rengifo with sub 1-4 K rate. So it's definitely not outside the realm of possibility for Slade to come out here and keep it going with the swing and miss. 17% swing strike rate seems a little bit crazy, but it's not nothing. And I don't know. Let me make sure it wasn't just like one game that he was going crazy. Nope, 18 and 16, so that's good. I mean, the under the hood and small sample looks good. Like he's earning the strikeouts, right? It's not like a. All right, so yeah, I think there's a range of outcomes here. You're giving him 5 innings against this K rate that he comes through with the K per inning plus, and we've seen him stress to 6 innings on 84 pitches. So maybe we even get, a 90 pitch outing. So I'm with you on the interest. I have to at least concede that there's a little bit of unknown, and that even with the strikeouts being there, we have seen a power allowed issue, and that's kind of Angels baseball right there, right? Strikeouts and homers. So I guess I'll play both sides. I would lean more the Slade. And we'll go Angels. I want to believe in anybody against Hendricks in this bullpen, but this Guardians team doesn't strike a ton of confidence in me. But I think I just gotta look past some of these, some of the surface and just kind of be like, yo, dude, play teams against the Angels, play teams against the Athletics, man. Their pitching is they're just dog, right? And that's what we're seeing in that Toronto series, and maybe that's what we'll see here. So let me go Slade, Angels, Guardians, and let's double check our projections on Slade. I think for Slade, I'll be a little bit more modest in this 31% carry. I'm gonna go, I think if we give him 25, that's fair, right? And then let's see what we're working with on outs. 15 and a half, 17 and a half. So let's do 15 and a half. It's cold in Cleveland. Yeah, 50s. And I wish it was 50s here. It's cold with wind blowing in, so yeah, it's a boost. It's actually enough that I'm gonna put a negative weather grade. Wind blowing in, progressive at 50-degree temps. That's a good call. By the way, wind blowing out in Atlanta. Maybe I should boost that a little bit. Yeah. All right, last game on this main slate. It's the Rockies and the Mets. If you ever thought you were bad at your job and you're worried about getting fired, Antonio Senzatella exists. Rockies have a 3-run total. Lineups are confirmed. Mets have a 5.8 run total. Easily Kota Sengai at the top of our interest ranking. Mets, and that's it. Let's go Out projections for Senga. Looks like we don't have one. Porque, no. One line of broken showers and storms moving around game time. Eventual outcome will be based on whether they get a little lucky with the heavier segments of the line missing or a little unlucky with a brief downpour. Either way, the game will play. Winds out to right at 10 to 15. All right, so there's some weather to be concerned about. Not for postponement, but, you know, for half of the field to be invested in Coda. Some weather around game time. How much time we got on this before this slate starts? 50 minutes? Dang, dude. Oh, chat, this is not professional. Maybe it is. I don't know. Maybe it's fun. But I do need to make some lineups. Are the lineups confirmed? Maybe we all on this slate. Let me double check. I think so. So it shouldn't take that long. Yeah. This entire slate is locked in. All right, so let's close this afternoon stuff. We're gonna turn that into the late night. Refresh the pitcher ranking. Refresh the stack rating. So we got Mets, Braves, Phillies, Astros, Detroit. All right, cool. And then we can close out the live data. Oh, we don't have the bond check. Yeah, we do. We gotta update our live bomb odds. And twins. And then if you guys will bear with, honestly, I think it's fine if we do it on stream though. I reserved 150 in the mini max on DK. Played it last night, had some fun. Just gonna come back at it. All right. Any extreme value on the homers? Benintendi's up here at 146. Brendan Marsh. Higgy at 282. Rojas. Okay. So I use the stochastic sim tool. If you guys don't use sims, you've been thinking about it, I have a link in the description below for the stochastic sim tool. I'm still a baby, a noob at it, but I'm getting better. Raw tweeted, Mets solid, Baltimore fine, Philly chance of rain, but managed to play. Let's go. What up, Earth to Air? Your homer bets, nice. Also need to fix my for simming. All I really care about is having my pitcher projections. I don't really sweat the player projections too much because it's all random. So let's go. I believe it's 10% to first. Let me make sure that. Sango, School, Robbie Ray. Does that line up with? Let's do it this way. Senga, 18.27. School, 18.35. Lizardo, 16.73. Robbie Ray, 17.52. Spencer, 17.12. Slade, 14.85. Sonny, 15.73. I think Scuba came in above Senga. I think I'm gonna manually adjust that to 19.5. Cabrera, I'm just not gonna play more than likely. He came in at 14. Creamer, 15. Gordon, 12.34. All right, nobody else on here I want to play, right? Yeah, no. All right. Doodah. All right, I think I got everything. 10% the first, blah, 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 blah. Run contest simulation. Yo, Terry Cole, Stephen Martin with the subs today. I appreciate that. Sorry I didn't see that sooner. Speaking of subs, we do have a rest of season special. Oh, it's on the screen. $100. That's pretty good. The whole second half of the season. We still got like another month before the All-Star break. That's a solid investment. Yeah, I mean, they stick with the times here. All right, let's go and set our exposures. So the first time I ever did this, I just like, oh, that's it, and then I go and I was like, man, why do I have 100%? Blah blah blah. You gotta go out there and you gotta adjust some stuff. So let's do that. Let's go set some exposures. And let's decide what we want to do with our pitching. So the field's gonna be at about 50% in Senga. I'll go 60, or I'll max that at 60. Creamer. For these guys I don't want, I'll put them at like 5. I'll go up to 50 on, let's go up to 40 on Ray. Schwellenbach came in 4th. I'm gonna go up to 20 on Schwellenbach. Sonny Gray, I'll go up to 30. Scooble, I'll go up to 30. Yeah. Cabrera, no thank you. Slade, let's go up to 30 on Slade. Let's get crazy, huh? Lizardo, let's go up to 25. 20? Yeah, we'll do 20. That feels better. Corbin, not really interested. Honestly, yeah, I'm not interested. I'm gonna go 0 on Waka. Colton Gordon, thinking a no. Like I noticed, like I put 0 twice. The first time doesn't work, the second time does. I don't know what that's about. Senzatella, no. Bueller, no. Patel, no. Hendricks, no. Chad Patrick, no. All right, one more time. 60 on Senga. Creamer, just a 6K pitcher against the White Sox. I really don't even want to do that, so I'm not. Ray, I go crazy with the concentration on pitching. I might even go. I'm fine with that. Corbin's such a troll, dude. Yeah, we'll leave him at 5. Cabrera 5. All right, let's do that. And then how are we feeling on our stacks? For bombs or homers of the day. For what we talked about so far, a lot of Yankees at the top, but that's on the main slate. Seager's up here. I didn't really get that. I like maybe Ivan Herrera for the Cardinals. He seems like a fun click. Don't mind that. All right, let's get back up here. Mets, unfortunately, are going to be goated. White Sox, I'm not that curious with. But if I'm not going to play Creamer, you know what I mean? Let's go 6. Let's go up to 10. Let's go up to 5. Let's go up to 5. Let's go 3. Let's go up to 5. Atlanta. 15. Cardinals up to 15. Up to 15. Let's go 3. Phillies. 10. Miami. 3. Rockies. 3. Milwaukee. 5. Texas. 5. Tampa. 5, Boston, 5, Angels, go up to 8 on the Angels. Who got shafted on that? That gives me Senga, Ray, Gray, Schwellenbach, Skubal, Slade at 14%. Then Corbin and Cabrera. Do I really want Corbin or Cabrera? I think I keep them. Stacks. Mets, Giants, Braves, Baltimore, Philly. I think I'm pretty vibing. I feel like I want more Cardinals. Feel like I want more Cardinals. That changed for the 4 stack. 1%. Alright, so let's do a 10% boost on Cardinals ROI. Maybe a 5% boost on the Angels. Nah, we did mention it's cold with wind blowing in. Let's see what that does. It brings me St. Louis at 10%. Am I okay with that? Mets, Cardinals, Giants, Braves, Orioles, Philly at 6, and then everybody else. I think I am fine with that. Now I feel like Atlanta's getting shafted. What's up, Choke? What's up, Don? Can you help me with the slate that's about to start? That's what I'm working on now, Don. I would probably recommend just rewinding and listening on 1.5x speed. Yeah. The Oakland pitching staff is so bad, dude. So bad. You have Ray and Sassoni. I don't mind that. Right now, for me, I'm looking at Senga, Ray, Gray, Schellenbach, Sassoni at 14%, and Skubal. Having 14% Skubal feels disrespectful, and I can't wait to be humbled. Then Luzardo, Corbin, Cabrera. But if Ray and Senga have a bad day, I'm just cooked. I might add a little bit of I think it was Sassoni's. Like Vegas only had him at 15 outs, so I'm not like super enamored by that, you know. All right, one last squeeze here. I feel like I want a little bit more Atlanta. Where did Atlanta come up in our stack rating? Atlanta came in 2, so I can't have them 2 and then have them 8th. You know what I mean? So let's go stack ROI. Even if I just get rid of the Rockies, but I figured I wanted to keep them just in case Senga implodes and half the field have them. You know what I mean? So raise them up 5%. Maybe I bring Cardinals down 5. We'll split the difference. Let's see what we're working with there. Atlanta comes in 1, 2, 3, 4th. St. Louis 3rd. No, that's wrong. Atlanta comes in 3rd. St. Louis 4th. I don't have a ton of 5 stacks. Mets, Baltimore. I hate Baltimore. What's up, Heath? Hope you've been all right. I think we're good with this. Did that change my pitcher ownership? Sonny goes up 3. Schellenbach's lead. I kind of like that a little flatter. And if I only have 12% Luzardo, what did that mean for Milwaukee stacks? Of none. I feel like one side gives in that situation. Got some White Sox. Yeah, White Sox are bringing up the rear for me right now. Make sure we're consistent. Mets, Atlanta, Philly, Houston. Philly's up here. Houston. Yeah. I'm okay with this. I think I had that wrong though. So now I have St. Louis as my 3rd highest owned stack. I probably need to come down a little bit. But we are pretty well represented. Oh, White Sox are a little too high up for me. A little too high. So Let's see. Six percent White Sox. All right. Hopefully that's the last thing we have to do. Hopefully. 14% Mets, 9%. ATL's at 7. Freaking 8% Baltimore. That's gonna kill me. 6% Philly. No, White Sox stayed at 4, dude. What the flip? Might let it ride. Yeah, the double catcher probably does make it hard to fill out the 5-man with confidence. Yeah, I got a little pinch of Cabrera and Corbin just in case I get. All right, F it did. Wait. Oh, so Altuve's in, but yeah, that's what you're saying. Weird looking lineups. All right, we'll let that ride. Let's go do some work on the main slate. We have got. Dang, Dodgers already released their lineup. That's crazy. Got a 4-game night slate tonight as well. 7:15 p.m. Eastern. Mariners and Twins. Got Buxton, Larnack, Brooks Lee, Carlos Correa, Matt Wallner, Lily Castro, Cody Clemens, Harrison Bader, Christian Vasquez. Green light that. Twins have a 3.8 run total. Mariners 3.9. Crawford, Raleigh. Cal Raleigh. Dude, he's in literal conversations right now with Ken Griffey Jr. in terms of home run pacing for the Mariners. Like, that's insane. Such a fun offense to get behind. I don't know if I'll call Young. Mariners to promote Cole Young, top prospect. He is a lefty. 820 OPS, 279 average. 20? Oh, that's his career. Okay, 277 average, 850 OPS, 4 stolen bases, 5 bombs. Looks like he'll fit right in. Green light that. Pitching matchup here. Bailey Ober taking on Bryce Miller. over 18% K rate for him. Does have a 12.6% swing and strike rate. You kind of imagine with a double-digit swing and strike rate, and you'll get to a 20+% K rate before long. And then Bryce Miller, 20% K rate for him, a sub 10% swing and strike rate. So that's about where you expect him. 154 on the whip. Has an 18% walk rate to lefties right now. And there are some lefties that can draw some walks in this Twins lineup. Trevor Larnach has a 10+% walk rate. Matt Wallner, Willie Castro, Wallner and Willie Castro, 9+% walk rate. A lot of WRC plus in this lineup that you kind of don't expect for the Twins. Just Brooks Lee and Christian Vasquez under 100 in their WRC plus column against righties since the beginning of last year. So could be a sneaky spot for Twins. I think they started surging last night as well. And then the Mariners lineup, you know how they play. Pretty solid as a team in terms of run creation, good power. Not a ton of hit for average since the beginning of last year. A lot of strikeout potential as well. But Bailey Ober, if you can't find those strikeouts, you tap into the scoring potential here. So I'm kind of offense first. I'm going to go Twins, Mariners. But I don't think it's off limits to get to Bailey Ober. Like that 12% swing and strike rate versus 25% K rate. I can get some of that at 7,200 on a 4-game slate. You know what I mean? Bryce Miller, 1-5 K rate against the Twins. What's on the deck? Knack, Warren, Falter, Cease. Yeah, I think pitching is going to be a little bit uglier this slate. So you take these pitchers in what's a pitcher's park. But Miller has some tough stats to get around with comfort, right? Ober's a little bit more excusable. A sub-4 expected ERA we can live with. With Miller, we got a 1.54 on the whip, 4.53 expected ERA. You know what I mean? Like, it's a little tougher to love it. But are you running to pitch against the Yankees or the Dodgers? Maybe not. Let's spit out a pitcher projection for them. We have so many tabs open. It is crazy. We don't have... Got Ober 17.5. I don't have anything on Miller, so I'll bring Ober to 17.5. Miller, I had him at 15.5. Cool. We'll go from there. Next up, Yankees and the Dodgers. Will Warren taking on Landon Knack. Will Warren has made me a believer. I was kind of down on him to start the season, especially limping into the season with some of these putrid average alloweds, high xFIP to lefties, the barrel rate at 10+%. But man, it seems like every start there's some new stat coming out that Will Warren is a beast at. So he's gonna put all that to the test today against a team that just gave Max Fried his biggest butt whipping of the season. Warren's been pretty decent at just about everything. Look at his expected metrics: a 188 expected batting average on his fastball, 245 on the sweeper, 330 on the sinker. Not what you want. Same with the 290 on the changeup, but a lot of advanced metrics are big fans of Will Warren. Maybe the continued evolution. Look at Stuff Plus this season for Will Warren. It's been pretty plus on everything but the fastball. 102 overall with a 30% K rate. So with all that said, the Dodgers have a 5-run total, and they are pound for pound the best team in baseball. Now, Mookie Betts is not in the lineup. He wasn't in the lineup last night either. So it's at least a Mookie-less Dodgers lineup, but that didn't stop them last night. So let's update the actual lineup. And this had a big fight feel last night. That first inning was magic, man. We saw Judge homer, and then Ohtani punched right back. And that just, I think it's a good thing as a Yankee fan, because Yankees are getting lulled to sleep in the American League. Just winning games in a boring way. And it's like, you kind of forget how bad the AL is. And then all of a sudden you go into the house of the champs and you're like, oh wait, this is the top of the league in baseball, right? You start playing these good teams. Then it's a reminder, and that's something that Brian Casper needs to see as well, for what they need to, bring back, add, or trade for. So I'm okay with them getting punched in the mouth. Let's go Dodgers, Yankees, Will Warren. Those are single game rank out. And let's go with my eyes are itchy, bro. Let's go 15 outs on Will Warren. And then Landon Knack, I put him at 16.5 earlier. I might just put him at 15.5 as well. Kind of keep it at that. Yankees are at a 5-run total now. The Dodgers have moved to 4.8 since there's no Mookie. Knack has the more glaring holes, I think, with the 3.46 home run per 9 to righties. Aaron Judge exists. Goldie got into one yesterday. It also felt like they had something on Tony Gonsolin early yesterday. After Judge hit his bomb, he went up to Goldie and told him something, and then we saw Austin Wells, Trent Grisham, and Goldie all homer. So we'll see if they find something on Landon Knack. My eyes are itching, bro. What up, king of all trades? Hope you've been all right. Next game on the docket, Pirates and the Padres. Got a 3.3 run total for the Pirates. Padres sitting on a 4.9. Dylan Cease taking on Bailey Falter. Nick Pivetta was going crazy yesterday. Kind of expect more of the same for Dylan Cease. He's likely the featured ace of the slate here. We're going to go Cease, Padres. I really don't have a reason to get to Falter. And for Cease, I got him at 16.5. Probably give him some more. 17, 18. We'll go 18 for Cease. We'll give him a little bit of a quality start boost there. And Falter, 16.5, right? All that seems right. And then your main event tonight. Mike Soroka taking on Brandon Pfaadt. Let's see what Chase Field. I think we saw Chase Field was going to be closed this whole series. Yeah, it's expected to be closed, so that might be it for the desert. Mike Soroka taking on Pfaadt. Both pitchers are beatable. Soroka, 2.45 home run per 9 to the lefties, 279 average allowed, 41% hard contact rate. Corbin Carroll, the poster boy, if he's in a leadoff spot, it's a really good spot for him. A 5.4 implied run total for the D-backs. Backing up a hittable, beatable Soroka is one of the worst bullpens in all of baseball. And then D-backs can often say, hold my beer. They got a 5.51 bullpen ERA as well. So if both pitchers are attackable, so are both bullpens, and this should be an offense-first game. I'm going D-backs, Nats, and that's all I got to say about that. Soroka, even though he is attackable and implodes to lefties, 3.8 xFIP to lefties, and there's a lot of lefties in that lineup, has held righties at bay, and at the for the most part, 3.62 expected ERA. You kind of take that. But there's a lot of talented lefties on the D-backs team, and I'm just going to trust it. So give me D-backs, give me Nats. And that kind of forces us into Dylan Cease, Ober, Miller, and then Warren, I think, is how we rank that out. Let's go release a pitcher projection for this slate. We'll call that the main slate. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, right? 4 games, that's right. Our projections give us Cease, Ober, Pfaadt, Miller. Yeah, it's not pretty. Basically, Cease and Ober will probably be your two guys. Let's go night pitcher projections. And let's move that over here. And then we'll go night or afternoon stack rating. And twins. So Saturday baseball. Gotta love it. Stack rating comes out. Dodgers, Yankees, D-backs, Padres, Minnesota. Somehow Washington second lowest. I thought they'd be higher. I don't really have an explanation for that. I guess the run total does it. Sub 4. Everybody else is like, yeah, almost 5 on the Padres. 5, yeah. I guess it makes sense. All right, that's our main slate. Or that's our night slate. So we have broken down all of baseball. We still got time for this other slate to lock. And we have done it. If you guys enjoyed the vibe sesh, man, appreciate you if you would hit that thumbs up. I don't guess we're streaming tomorrow, so Monday, I guess we're back in the south. Wait, what's going on Monday? Why is there? Oh no, it's tomorrow. I'm stupid. Monday. Yeah, Monday. We'll be back probably at 2:30 Eastern, probably. Twitter.com/Gundacker. You got anything else for me? Don't forget there's a special on the season pass. And that's it, man. I hope you guys have a safe Saturday night. Make sure you make it to Monday, and I hope you crush it today. Make some money. And enjoy your weekend. Enjoy your family. Hey, tell somebody you love them. I love you. Good luck. God bless. Go win some money.